Silence is one of the greatest powers a human being can possess, yet it is the least understood, the least practiced, and the most underestimated. Most people believe power comes from speaking, from announcing intentions, from telling the world what they plan to do. But the truth, the eternal truth, known by every person who has ever risen from nothing to greatness, is that the strongest force in your life is not your voice, but your silence. It is in your decision to hold your tongue, to preserve your energy, to guard your dreams, and to protect your purpose that your true strength is revealed. The world is full of people who talk. They talk about what they want to achieve, who they want to become, what they will build, where they will go, and how they will rise. But the world is not changed by people who talk. It is changed by people who act, quietly, steadily, deliberately. People who make decisions in private and reveal results in public. People who build silently and let their success make the noise others try to make with their mouths. You must understand a profound truth. When you reveal your plans to others, you invite their doubts, their fears, their limitations, and their insecurities into your mind. And their insecurities are contagious. The moment you expose your dreams to someone who cannot see what you see, who does not believe what you believe, who has never achieved what you want, your vision becomes vulnerable. One small comment, one careless criticism, one subtle remark can weaken your conviction, and conviction is the engine of achievement. Every great accomplishment begins with inner certainty, a fire inside that cannot be extinguished by the outside world. But when you expose that inner fire to the winds of opinion, you allow others to blow it out before it has grown strong enough to withstand their breath. People will doubt you not because your dream is impossible, but because they cannot imagine themselves doing it. People will criticize you not because you are wrong, but because they fear being left behind. People will discourage you not because they care about your safety, but because your ambition exposes their laziness. And people will try to slow you down not because you're going too fast, but because they have chosen to stand still. When you keep your plans silent, you protect yourself from all of this. You shield your mind from the noise of the world. You create a sanctuary where your ideas can grow freely. You strengthen your belief by preserving your energy. Silence becomes your armor, your strategy, your advantage. Those who broadcast their plans too early often do it for validation. They want applause before they have earned it. They want recognition before they have produced results. They want support before they have built strength. But this weakens them. It creates dependency. It makes them hungry for approval instead of hungry for progress. Silence removes this dependency. It forces you to become your own source of motivation. It eliminates the need for external approval, leaving you with nothing but focus. There is a power that grows when you stop explaining yourself, when you no longer seek permission, when you no longer try to convince others of your path. You become self-directed, self-reliant, self-driven. You become the architect of your own destiny instead of a participant in someone else's doubt. The world rewards those who complete their work, not those who talk about the work they intend to do. Announcing your plans does not bring you closer to your goals. It only gives you the illusion of progress. Your brain releases the same pleasure from speaking about success as it does from achieving success. This is why people who talk too much about their goals often never accomplish them. They have already stolen the satisfaction that should have come from their achievements. But when you stay silent, when you guard your plans, your mind becomes hungrier. Your ambition becomes sharper. Your desire becomes stronger because you have not diluted the reward with premature celebration. There is also another truth. When you speak less, people assume more. Silence creates mystery. Mystery creates respect. Respect creates influence. The most powerful people in the world are often the quietest, not because they lack words, but because they understand that words reveal strategy. And strategy is not something you hand to the world freely. Your silence protects your ambition from being dissected from being misinterpreted, and misinterpreted from being attacked. People cannot sabotage what they cannot see. They cannot damage what they do not know. They cannot discourage what has not been revealed. Your greatest moves should be made in private. Your greatest transformations should happen in silence. Your greatest progress should occur when no one is watching. The moment you are ready to reveal yourself should be the moment your results are undeniable, your achievements are complete, your growth is visible, and your success is certain. There is profound strength in becoming a person who acts without announcing, who grows without displaying, who plans without declaring. A person who is too busy improving to be distracted by the need for validation. A person who lets discipline make decisions and lets results speak truth. When you stop talking about what you are going to do, you force your actions to carry the responsibility. You remove the option of hiding behind excuses. Words are easy, action requires courage. Words are free, discipline is expensive. Words are quick, progress is time-consuming. When you rely on actio, and instead of speech, you transform yourself into someone unstoppable. Do not tell people your next move. Let them wonder how you keep evolving. Let them see the change without ever having witnessed the struggle. Let them feel your growth without having heard your plan. Let your silence be the difference between those who merely wish and those who truly accomplish. Guard your plans the way a seed is protected underground. A seed does not shout that it will become a tree. It grows in silence, in darkness, in stillness. Only when it is strong enough to survive the elements does it emerge into the light. Your dreams must be given the same protection. They must be allowed to develop quietly until they are strong enough to withstand criticism, jealousy, and misunderstanding. There will be moments when you feel the urge to announce your plans, to seek support or validation. Resist that urge. Your strength is not in being understood, but in being committed. You owe no explanation to anyone. You owe only progress to yourself. Do not tell people what you are doing until it is done. Let them see your results. Let them witness your transformation. Let them feel your success. The world cannot argue with what is already built. It cannot deny what already exists. It cannot criticize what has already proven itself. Great achievements are revealed, not announced. Powerful individuals move quietly. Purposeful souls grow silently. The world only discovers them when their success becomes too great to ignore. And when that day comes, when you rise, when you succeed, when you accomplish what others doubted, your silence will speak louder than every word you ever could have said. Work quietly, build silently, focus relentlessly, protect your plans, construct your dreams brick by brick, away from the noise, away from the opinions, away from the interruptions of the world. Your results will introduce you before you ever have to speak. Your achievements will define you more powerfully than any explanation. Your success will do the talking in a voice louder than anything you could declare today. Do your work, guard your goals, keep your plans private, and remember, the strongest move you will ever make is silence. There is a rare strength in silence, a strength that most people will never understand because they spend their entire lives speaking before they've acted, sharing before they've built, and seeking approval before they've earned confidence. But those who rise in life, those who achieve something extraordinary, understand that silence is not weakness. Silence is protection. Silence is strategy. Silence is power. And the first thing it protects is your vision. Your vision is the most delicate part of your future. It begins as a small spark, a fragile seed planted deep in your mind. In the beginning, it is vulnerable. It is sensitive. It is easily influenced. A single careless comment, a single seed of doubt, or a single negative opinion can weaken it before it has the strength to stand on its own. This is why silence is essential. When you keep your plans private, you give your vision the chance to grow strong without being crushed by the weight of other people's limitations. Because the moment you share your plans with others, you expose them to their fears, their insecurities, their failures, and their disbelief. Most people do not speak from experience. They speak from fear. They speak from the boundaries of their own lives, not the possibilities of yours. They judge your dreams based on what they believe they can do, not what you are capable of. And even when they mean well, their concerns can become chains around your ambition. Silence protects you from this. Silence creates a barrier between your inner world and the noise of the outer world. It allows your vision to grow in an environment free from doubt. It preserves your confidence by preventing unnecessary criticism. It shields your dream from negativity, which is one of the most destructive forces to any new idea. Negativity is contagious. Once you allow it into your mind, it spreads. It makes you question your path, hesitate in your actions, and reconsider your purpose. When you keep your plans to yourself, you remove the risk of contamination. You allow yourself to move forward with focus, clarity, and conviction. You give your dream the privacy it needs to become strong. Think of a seed planted underground. Nature hides it in darkness for a reason. The seed must develop roots before it can handle sunlight, storms, and external forces. If the seed were exposed too early, it would die before it had the chance to grow. The same is true for your vision. In its early stages, it needs silence, solitude, and protection. It needs time away from the opinions of others. It needs to grow roots, confidence, discipline, clarity, belief. Once a vision has strong roots, it becomes unshakable. At that point, no criticism can stop you. No doubt can weaken you. No negativity can discourage you. But until that point, silence is your safeguard. People often believe they need to share their plans to stay accountable, to gain support, or to feel motivated. But the truth is that sharing too early often steals your momentum. When you talk about your goals, your mind feels the same satisfaction as if you've already achieved something. You receive praise, encouragement, and attention without having done any real work. That praise becomes a substitute for progress. You get addicted to validation instead of execution. Silence prevents this trap. It forces you to earn your satisfaction through action, not words. It eliminates the false comfort of attention and keeps your hunger alive. Silence also eliminates pressure. When no one knows what you're doing, you are free to experiment, fail, adjust, and learn quietly. You can make mistakes without judgment. You can evolve without interference. You can build without the fear of disappointing anyone. This freedom is priceless. It gives you room to grow authentically without the weight of expectations. The quieter you become about your plans, the stronger you become in your actions. You learn to depend on yourself. You stop relying on applause and start relying on discipline. You shift from talking about your life to transforming your life. You move in silence, and the world only sees the results after they are undeniable. Silence is not secrecy rooted in fear. It is protection rooted in wisdom. It is understanding that your dream is not ready for the world until it has been fully shaped by you. It is acknowledging that people cannot destroy what they cannot see. It is realizing that the fewer eyes on your journey, the fewer obstacles placed in your way. There will always be people who misunderstand your ambition, who question your choices, who doubt your potential, who minimize your dreams, who discourage your effort, or who project their insecurities onto you. Silence is how you avoid giving them access to the most important parts of your future. When you guard your vision, you maintain control over your direction. You stay aligned with your own intuition instead of being influenced by the fears of others. You stay committed to your purpose instead of becoming confused by conflicting opinions. You continue moving forward without being slowed down by unnecessary conversations. Silence also builds discipline. When you stop talking about what you plan to do, all your energy goes into doing it. You become more focused, more productive, more intentional. You no longer waste time explaining yourself. You channel your energy into action. And action is where success lives. Eventually, the world will notice. They will see the transformation. They will witness the results. They will admire the strength they never knew you had. But by then, your vision will be too powerful to be affected by anyone's opinion. It will be fully grown, fully formed, fully yours. People cannot argue with outcomes. They cannot deny achievement. They cannot dismiss what already exists. When your vision becomes reality, they will respect it, even if they once doubted it. But until that day comes, let silence be your strategy. Let silence guard your dreams. Let silence strengthen your focus. Let silence protect your vision from noise, negativity, and interference. Speak less, move more, announce less, execute more, reveal less. Build more. Remember, your vision is sacred. Protect it with silence until it is strong enough to speak for itself. There is a powerful truth that many people never learn until much later in life. Intentions mean nothing without action and talk. No matter how passionate, enthusiastic, or confident, cannot replace effort. We live in a world where it has become easy to speak big dreams, announce big plans, and broadcast beautiful visions. People spend hours telling others what they want to do, what they are planning to build, and who they intend to become. And in that constant talking, something dangerous happens. They start to believe that speaking about the dream is the same as working toward it. It is not. It never will be. Talking is effortless. It demands nothing. It requires no courage, no struggle, no discipline, no sacrifice. Anyone can talk about what they want. Anyone can describe a future version of themselves with all the success, wealth, stability, and freedom they dream of. But only a small fraction of people will silence the noise of their words and step into the arena of action, where results are built, not spoken. The moment you speak of your intentions, you gain a false sense of accomplishment. Your brain rewards you with the same feelings you get when you actually do the work, which means your motivation decreases, because part of you believes you have already made progress. It's an illusion, a psychological trap. You become satisfied with the image rather than the effort. That is why many people talk loudly but never move deeply. Real progress happens in silence. Real growth happens when you choose action over the comfort of talking. Real success belongs to those who discipline themselves not to announce their dreams, but to build them. There is power in keeping your intentions private. It forces you to measure your progress not by your words, but by your work. When you are silent about your goals, you free yourself from external validation. Many people talk about their plans because they crave the approval of others. They want someone to say, "That's a great idea," or "You're going to do amazing things." But if you depend on applause before you begin, you'll depend on applause to continue. And when applause fades, so does your drive. That is the weakness of talking. It ties your motivation to other people. But when you rely on action, your motivation is powered from within. You don't need anyone to validate your dreams, because the work validates itself. You don't need anyone to believe in you, because your progress becomes visible evidence. You don't need anyone's encouragement, because every step forward becomes its own reward. This is the unbreakable strength of silent effort. Let your results speak for you, not your excitement, not your dreams, not your future plans. Results carry a weight that words can never match. Results silence doubters. Results change people's attitudes, their tone, their respect. Results are undeniable. The person who talks about writing a book is not the same as a person who places a finished manuscript on the table. A person who talks about becoming financially independent is not the same as someone who has built a stable income stream. A person who talks about personal transformation is not the same as someone who has already become unrecognizable, stronger, wiser, and more disciplined. People respect results because results cannot be faked. They require commitment. They require consistency. They require sacrifice when no one is watching. And they require the ability to move forward even when you feel invisible, unsupported, or uncertain. This is why results speak louder than intentions. Intentions are cheap. Results are earned. When you stop talking and start working, you also eliminate unnecessary pressure. The more people you tell, the more pressure you create. Not positive pressure, but anxious pressure. You begin worrying about how you will look if you fail, whether others will judge you, whether people will mock your ambition. These fears paralyze action. They lock you into the world of imagination instead of the world of execution. Silence removes this burden. You get to fail quietly, adjust privately, and grow without the weight of public expectation. The most extraordinary transformations happen when you commit to the process without announcing every step of it. You wake up early when no one sees. You practice your craft when no one applauds. You study, train, build, and improve behind closed doors. You become a person of depth, not performance. And slowly, quietly, steadily, your results begin to show. People begin to notice that something about you has changed. Your clarity, your confidence, your discipline. But they can't figure out why. That mystery is powerful. It gives you a psychological edge because people see the outcome but never your struggle. That is how greatness operates. Not with noise, but with precision. Not with announcements, but with action. Not with boast, but with mastery. Think of every successful person you admire. They all reach their achievements through relentless action, not endless talking. They spent less time describing their future and more time building it. They let the world discover their results when they were ready, not when they were fantasizing about them. When you adopt this mindset, your life changes in profound ways. You stop wasting energy explaining your dreams to people who cannot see your vision. You stop seeking validation from people who have no idea what you're capable of. You stop inviting opinions, doubts, or envy into your space. You protect your energy. You protect your mission. You protect your growth. And most importantly, you progress faster. Silence sharpens your focus. When no one knows what you're doing, your attention becomes sacred. You are no longer distracted by explaining, defending, or justifying your plans. You operate from a place of pure intent, pure discipline, pure execution. Every minute is invested, not wasted. Let people wonder how you did it. Let them question how you transformed so rapidly. Let them be surprised when you reveal the finished result. You owe explanations to no one. The world does not need to hear your intentions. It needs to witness your accomplishments. So work, build, improve, invest in yourself quietly, move silently, consistently, and intentionally. Let people talk while you act. Let them dream while you build. Let them guess while you grow. In the end, words fade, promises fade, intentions fade, but results, your results, remain. They become the proof of your discipline, the evidence of your strength, and the legacy of your effort. You were not born to talk about greatness. You were born to create it. There comes a moment every person's life when they realize that their dreams, their ambitions, and their long-term goals are not meant to be shared with everyone. Not because dreams should be hidden in shame or fear, but because not everyone you know has the capacity, maturity, vision, or strength to hold your dreams with respect. Some people misunderstand your goals. Some discourage you unintentionally. And some, out of jealousy, insecurity, or fear, may attempt to sabotage what you are trying to build. This is the truth most people learn the hard way. Your goals are sacred, and not everyone deserves access to them. When you share your plans too widely, you open the door to external interference. Suddenly, other people's opinions, judgments, and doubts begin to shape your thinking. You start questioning your path not because you lack belief, but because someone else failed to understand it. You make your decisions not based on your own inner compass, but on what others expect or approve of. And slowly, quietly, almost without noticing, you drift away from your own vision. Why does this happen? Because human beings are deeply influenced by the voices around them. Even a single negative comment can plant doubt in your mind. A raised eyebrow can weaken your confidence. A careless remark can steal your fire. We are wired to care about others' reactions, and even when we pretend we don't, their words penetrate deeper than we admit. This is why privacy becomes essential. It protects you from unnecessary noise. Some people will misunderstand your dreams simply because they were never meant to see them. Not everyone has your level of courage, imagination, or ambition. People often judge your plans through the lens of their own limitations. If someone has never taken a risk, your risk will seem foolish. If someone has never believed in themselves, your confidence will seem unrealistic. If someone has never thought beyond survival, your desire for success will seem excessive. You cannot expect understanding from someone who has never walked the path you're walking. You cannot expect support from someone who has never learned to support themselves. And you cannot expect encouragement from someone who is still fighting their own unseen battles. Privacy protects your vision from being filtered through the small minds of those who cannot grasp what you are capable of. Then there are those who will discourage you, not always out of malice, but out of genuine fear. They do not want you to fail, so they try to shield you from disappointment. They believe they are protecting you when they say, "Are you sure you can do this? Maybe this isn't realistic. It sounds risky. No one has done that before." These people love you, but their love is limited by their fear. Their intentions may be pure, but their advice is poisonous. If you let their worries shape your decisions, your potential will shrink to match their comfort zone. This is why your goals require a closed door, not a public display. And then, the hardest truth of all, some people will actively sabotage you. Not because you hurt them, not because you did anything wrong, but simply because your growth exposes their stagnation. Your ambition threatens their comfort. Your progress reminds them of their unfulfilled dreams. Instead of improving themselves, they try to pull you back to their level. This sabotage may be subtle, a discouraging comment, a dismissive laugh, a seed of doubt planted at the perfect moment, or it may be direct, criticism, mockery, jealousy, or attempts to interfere with your decisions. You do not owe these people access to your goals. You do not owe them explanations. You do not owe them transparency. Your future is your responsibility, and you must protect it with the seriousness it deserves. The truth is, your goals are fragile in their early stages. A dream is strongest in your mind, but weakest in the world. It needs silence, focus, and nurturing. It needs time to grow strong roots before it faces external winds. If you expose it too early, the slightest judgment can crush it. Privacy gives your goals the environment they need: freedom, clarity, and independence. When you keep your plans private, something powerful happens. You become unstoppable. You are no longer influenced by other people's doubts or insecurities. You take action without needing approval. You learn to trust your own intuition. You build a direct connection between your effort and your results. In privacy, you fail quietly, and you rise quietly. You experiment freely, without fear of judgment. You grow steadily, without interference. And you become stronger because every decision comes from your own mind, not someone else's reaction. Privacy gives you control over your energy. Every conversation costs energy. Every explanation drains your focus. Every opinion you listen to shifts your attention. When you withhold your goals, you conserve the most important resource you have, your mental strength. With privacy, you move with intention. With privacy, you stay aligned with your purpose. With privacy, you protect your momentum. This doesn't mean you should isolate yourself or never trust anyone. It means you must be selective. Share your goals only with people who have earned that level of trust, those who have proven integrity, maturity, wisdom, and genuine support. People who lift you, not limit you. People who respect your vision even when they don't fully understand it. People who inspire you to keep going. Your goals deserve guardians, not critics. Your dreams deserve believers, not doubters. Your journey deserves protectors, not saboteurs. In the end, the most powerful transformations happen quietly. No announcements, no explanations, no audience, just you, your plan, and your persistent effort. When you finally emerge with your results, the world will be forced to take you seriously, not because you told them what you would do, but because you did it. Let the world see your success, not your strategy. Let them witness your results, not your reasoning. Let them admire your achievements, not your announcements. You owe your dreams a safe place to grow. Not everyone deserves access to that place. Protect your goals, guard your vision, build in silence. The world will see the results when the time is right, and by then no one will be able to stop what you have created. There is a timeless truth about real power. It does not announce itself while it is being built. It does not seek a tint, ion, praise, or validation during its formation. The strongest moves, the ones that truly change a life, are created in silence, far away from the noise of opinions, expectations, and judgments. Powerful individuals understand this deeply. They know that quiet effort produces loud results, and that what is built away from distraction becomes unbreakable. In a world obsessed with showing progress, displaying plans, and announcing every step, the quiet builder stands apart. They do not speak of their intentions, they embody them. They do not talk about the future, they shape it. They do not reveal their work in its fragile beginnings, they reveal it only when it stands strong enough to speak for itself. Silence becomes their strategy, discipline becomes their armor, and results become their voice. Why do the strongest moves happen quietly? Because progress is most vulnerable in its early stages. When an idea is new, it is delicate. Easily broken by criticism, easily distorted by outside influence, easily derailed by the weight of other people's opinions. Talking too soon can destroy what would have grown into greatness. Sharing too early can invite doubt before confidence is fully formed. People who build quietly do so because they understand the need to protect their progress. They know that silence shields them from unnecessary pressure. It gives them room to experiment, adjust, and grow without constantly being watched, questioned, or judged. Silence becomes a sanctuary where ideas can mature without interference. Powerful individuals also know that attention is a double-edged sword. When you announce your plans loudly, you attract eyes, not all of them supportive. Some watch to judge. Some hope you fail, some simply don't believe in you, and whether you admit it or not, their beliefs can influence your own. Every doubt you hear has a way of echoing in your mind, weakening your conviction. But when you operate quietly, no one's doubts can reach you. No one's disbelief can overshadow your faith. Your energy remains pure, undiluted by outside noise. You work with clarity because you answer only to your purpose, not to spectators. Silence also eliminates the illusion of progress that comes from talking. When you speak too much about what you plan to do, your mind receives a false reward. You begin to feel as if you've already accomplished something simply by describing it. This steals the hunger needed to take action. It tricks you into believing that verbal enthusiasm is equal to physical execution. It never is. Powerful individuals silence their words so that all their energy flows into action. Their hunger grows in the absence of applause. Their commitment strengthens because there is no comfort in conversation, only progress in work. And there is another reason the strongest moves are made quietly. People underestimate what they cannot see. When no one knows what you are building, they cannot oppose it. They cannot interfere with it. They cannot prepare for it. Silence gives you an advantage, an element of surprise. You move without resistance. You prepare without pressure. You evolve without explanation. Then, when your foundation is complete and your results stand tall, you reveal something so solid, so undeniable, that no one can challenge it. Silence does not just protect your growth. It magnifies your impact. People who build loudly often crumble quickly. When the world watches you too early, you may feel compelled to perform instead of perfect. You rush to prove instead of improve. You become attached to the perception of progress rather than the reality of it. This creates weakness, not strength. But those who build quietly take their time. They refine their skills, strengthen their mindset, deepen their discipline, and construct a foundation that can support the weight of success. They do not fear slow growth because they know that slow growth builds resilience. They do not crave immediate recognition because they understand that recognition is meaningless without substance. Quiet builders are patient. They are deliberate. They are precise. They know that the world will eventually see what they have built, and when it does, the magnitude of their achievement will speak far louder than any premature announcement. The strongest moves are made quietly because true strength requires solitude. Greatness demands focus. Mastery thrives in environments where distractions are removed. When you isolate yourself from noise, you create space for brilliance to emerge. You train harder. You think clearer. You learn faster. You become someone who does not need to speak of power because you are becoming power itself. Silence is not weakness, it is a form of intelligence. It is the recognition that what you are building becomes stronger when fewer hands touch it, fewer eyes judge it, and fewer minds influence it. Silence keeps you grounded, it keeps you humble, it keeps you disciplined, and it keeps you aligned with your vision rather than the expectations of others. When you reveal your work only after the foundation is unshakable, you demonstrate a level of self-control that most people never develop. You show that you do not need external validation to continue. You show that you trust your path more than you fear the opinions of others. You show that you are driven by mastery, not attention, and that is the mark of true power. Think of the times in your life when you made your greatest improvements. Most of them likely happened quietly, during late nights, early mornings, small decisions, personal sacrifices, and private moments of growth. Success is rarely loud on the inside. It becomes loud only when transformation is complete. The strongest moves have always been internal before they become external. A change in mindset, a shift in habits, a commitment renewed in silence, a decision made without witnesses. These private victories create the public triumphs that everyone celebrates later. This is why powerful individuals do not explain their efforts. They simply show the results. They do not predict their success, they present it. They do not promise what they will become, they become it. When you adopt this mindset, your life begins to transform. You no longer waste time convincing others. You no longer feel pressured to justify your choices. You no longer let the noise of the world contaminate your focus. Instead, you work with quiet certainty. You move with intention. You hold your goals close and your results closer. And when the time comes for you to reveal what you have built, when your foundation is unshakable, your progress undeniable, and your strength fully formed, the world will have no choice but to respect what you have done. They will admire your discipline. They will be surprised by your transformation. They will wonder how you achieved so much without a sound. This is the beauty of building quietly. Your silence becomes your power. Your foundation becomes your protection. Your results become your voice. The strongest moves are not the ones spoken loudly. They are the ones made with precision, patience, and purpose. They are the moves no one sees coming, but everyone feels when they arrive. So build quietly, grow silently, work in the shadows until your results shine too brightly to ignore. Because when your foundation is unshakable, your success will echo louder than any words ever could. There is a unique kind of power that comes from being seen but not fully understood. A quiet, compelling force that draws attention without demanding it. That force is mystery. And for individuals who seek growth, strength, and influence, mystery becomes one of the most valuable tools in their journey. In a world where everyone broadcasts their struggles, their steps, their intentions, and their every move, the person who operates silently stands apart. They break the rhythm of the crowd. They intrigue. They command attention without trying. And most importantly, they earn respect. Not through words or explanations, but through undeniable achievements that appear without warning. When people witness your results but cannot trace your steps, they naturally elevate you in their minds. You become someone they observe closely, someone they cannot predict, someone whose discipline is evident but whose method remains unknown. This mystery creates an aura, not of arrogance, but of controlled mastery. It signals that you operate differently, think differently, and move differently. Why does mystery create such a strong sense of respect? Because people fear what they cannot define and admire what they cannot easily reach. When you openly reveal your struggles, your methods, your strategies, and your every move, you give people the blueprint to understand you. You allow them to categorize. You make yourself predictable and familiar. And while openness is sometimes necessary, it rarely inspires awe. Mystery, on the other hand, makes people look twice. It forces them to wonder. It makes them curious. It commands a level of seriousness. When your process is hidden, people do not know how hard you work, how much you sacrifice, or how much discipline you exert. They see only the outcome, smooth, polished, powerful. The absence of visible struggle elevates your achievements in their eyes. It creates the impression that you are operating on another level, even if internally you know how much effort it required. This is why silence becomes strength. Not because you are hiding weakness, but because you are allowing your results to represent you. It becomes impossible for others to judge you prematurely, to interrupt your progress, or to impose their assumptions on your journey. Mystery protects you. When people know little about your progress, they cannot sabotage it, they cannot discourage you, they cannot interfere, they cannot place limits on what you are capable of. You expand freely without needing to justify your pace or explain your decisions. And most importantly, mystery gives you freedom. The freedom to grow privately, to fail privately, to evolve privately. You are not pressured by what people think, not weighed down by expectations, and not trapped in the identity others create for you. In silence, you get to recreate yourself without resistance. This is why the most powerful transformations often happen quietly. The world sees the new version of you only when the transformation is complete. They do not witness the early mornings, the late nights, the internal battles, the moments of doubt, the discipline, the sacrifices, or the countless repetitions. They see only the strength. And because they never saw you build it, it seems extraordinary. Mystery magnifies your achievements. It enhances the perception of your discipline. It amplifies the value of your results. When people do not see the process, they respect the product more. This is also why mysterious individuals often hold a psychological advantage. When people do not know how you think or how you move, they cannot predict your next step. They cannot assume your weaknesses. They cannot use your plans against you. Your silence becomes a defense, a shield, and a strategic advantage. It leaves others guessing. It forces them to observe you instead of dismissing you. It makes your presence more impactful because you reveal only what you chose. Those people admire those who appear self-contained, independent, and internally driven. And mystery communicates exactly that. It shows that you are not seeking validation. You are not chasing applause. You are not dependent on external permission to pursue your ambitions. You are driven by something deeper, something personal and powerful. This level of self-control earns respect instantly. Anyone can talk. Anyone can broadcast their plans, anyone can seek attention, but it takes discipline to stay silent while building something significant. It takes strength to grow quietly while the world demands noise. It takes maturity to choose privacy in a culture of exposure. And when you finally reveal your results, when you show the world the transformation you've created, they will recognize the depth of your discipline without ever having seen a moment of the struggle. That moment of revelation becomes powerful because it emerges from silence. Think of how people react to someone who unexpectedly succeeds on a high level. When achievements appear suddenly, without hints or announcements, they command respect because they seem miraculous. But they aren't miracles. They are simply the product of quiet, consistent work. Mystery is the difference between being seen as ordinary and being seen as exceptional. When you keep your process private, people assume you are capable of far more than what is visible. They fill in the gaps with respect rather than doubt. They project strength onto you because they do not know your limits. This psychological advantage carries into relationships, business, leadership, and personal influence. Mystery is not about hiding who you are. It is about keeping your power concentrated rather than diluted by unnecessary exposure. In privacy, your energy remains contained, your focus remains sharp, your intentions remain pure, your direction remains uninterrupted. When you reveal only what is ready to be seen, you control the narrative of your life. You decide how the world perceives you. You shape your identity through your results, not through explanations, and that is one of the highest forms of personal power. People respect the force they can see but cannot map. They admire the person who grows without broadcasting. They trust the individual who does not seek validation. They follow the one who leads through actions, not announcements. Mystery creates influence. Mystery creates presence. Mystery creates respect, so hold your process close. Protect your goals from noise. Build quietly, consistently, and intentionally. And when your results are finally revealed, let them speak loudly in the silence you maintained. Because there is nothing more impressive than a person who rises without announcing their rise, and nothing more respected than someone whose silence holds more power than others' loudest words.